Well, that is that, and what can one say about it? Sorry, it's just that I. It seems the previous recording situations are not gonna be allowed anymore, making it more difficult to record than ever. Not that I've been very good with that anyway. But hi everybody, if this has managed to be watchable, this is the Anger and Defender Despair reviewer. Although I technically mostly just review Eden Zero, sometimes I review other stuff. And this is Eden Zero, chapter 153. We actually did get a chapter this time. Probably will not get a chapter next week. You know, it's still Olympics and stuff like that. I don't know how they work, you tell me. In this one, Rebecca managed to find out the thing. We still don't exactly know the name of Lyra's ether gear, although I think it's implied it's lost card or something like that. But it's more of the fact that we don't really know how a car that can change number is exactly a useful ether gear. I mean, it's useful for this, but it seems that she can control the clothing as well, implying that the card game is a little bit more in a game. Either way, Rebecca is down to her leotard, and she is feeling a little bit panicky because she still don't exactly know how she could have lost a number when she did a reverse. So she comes to the conclusion that Lyra is somehow cheating, especially since the previous number she took that she thought was a 5 was now a 1, and especially since it was not a 1 in the previous time she reversed. So she knows that Lyra is cheating, and she only can use reverse one more time, so she cannot win even as she pulls out a new card and gets a 1. And yes, she gets down stripped to her naked time, much to her embarrassment, but also the crowd's cheering. So seeing that she has no other choice, she reverses one more time, which is the last time she can do that, as the cracks appears on her body. Now that she has reversed all the time, actually this is a bit concerning, because that implies, well, whatever happens now, she can no longer reverse it, and she can't cat leap, meaning that if Shura wins, or if Siggy wins, then all is lost. So, yeah, the bad future she saw, it may still happen. She briefly collapsed on the ground, taking some cards with her, but Lyra does not show pity because you are only allowed to do that. As Rebecca recovers a bit and the cracking heals, she confronts Lyra about the fact that she is cheating. Of course, Lyra is denying that, calling Rebecca a sore loser, or even the fact that she doesn't even have any proof. So she says to Rebecca to pick a card, and she then suddenly begins to shuffle the cards into a bit different order, something that Lyra did in the beginning of the first round. However, Lyra is indeed cheating, and she is not a single bit concerned. It's shown, though, that she doesn't know what the number of the card is because she doesn't need to. Just before she picks up a card, she can change the number using her ether gear. Lost card. That means she doesn't know the number of the card she is pulling, but she can change the number to any number there is, meaning that there will be 2 cards of the same number, because there is like that. But since everybody's flipping the card like that, no one can actually realize that it's like that. So she pulls up a 5 that she changed from 1 to 5, and she says she will always win. This doesn't exactly confirm, though, how Poseidon Nero won, but seeing that he is relying on the guiding dice of fate and the ones that never betrayed him, it's very likely that he too find out that she cheated, and probably even use this to somehow the advantage of it all. They may actually explain why she lost an eye, because I don't think Poseidon Nero appreciates cheating, especially when the guiding dice is never betraying him. But before Rebecca can pick a card, she actually says that she now has unlimited proof that Lyra is cheating. and she pulls out the card from her cleavage that actually is the true genuine 1, or 5 I should say, sorry, 5, because that means that there is one of the same number, and that is a 5. As she says, Lyra just picked a 5 that didn't even exist, and how can you do that without cheating? And she could do that. She saw the real number of the 5 using the power reverse. But Lyra is confused, especially since she sees his 5 cards on the table. But then when she takes away the cards, she actually sees that one of the cards is ripped. So it's shown that when Rebecca briefly collapsed on the ground and took some cards with her, she actually did that as a distraction to rip a 4 number to create a 5 card that she hid in the shuffle, as well as taking the real 5 number and placing it in her cleavage. So she used her brain. Some may say that Rebecca is sucky with her videos and many things more, but she can actually be pretty strategic when she wants to be. And this one was actually a very good way to show that while it doesn't show how Lyra is changing the number, it does show that indeed she pulled a number that doesn't exist, and she can only do that through cheating. Even though one actually may argue, well, Rebecca cheated as well, since she used reverse to see what the real card numbers were. But again, it comes also back to the fact the cheater cheated is cheated, so it's the advantage of it all. And since Lyra is confronted by that, and the crowd is actually booing her, she just decides, screw this, and proceeds to throw the cards at Rebecca, saying that the card game is over and now it's time for a slaughter show, implying that the lost card of the game can be used for fighting. It's during this time that Shiki breaks through the ground, brawling with Callum, showing that Callum has not defeated him yet, and also saying that you don't need to fight her. It's during this time that the two of them gets reinforcements from the Ruthord siblings, who each one appears and knocks aside both Laura and Callum. I said it before, Callum just looked like the perfect opponent for Jin, especially since, well, he is so serious and stoic and seems to have some kind of fog-like ability. I did not expect Klein to take on Lyra, but it also makes sense. Seeing that they are now friends with the crew, they proceed both to say that we'll handle this situation. Shiki is worried about the ship, but according to Jin, she is safe, since most of the drones are away. I wonder, where is Laguna? Well, I guess we will find out later. So Shiki grabs Rebecca and uses sudden gravity to fly away. It's worth noting though that she's still in her leotard and pretty bare. As soon as sure as she is this, I'm pretty sure he's gonna say something creepy. And so the two more Oceans players face off against the Rutherford siblings. Wind versus different powers. The battle begins now. And now we'll see them in action again. It will be refreshing to see that. So yeah, that's basically this chapter. Nothing really else to add to it, to be honest. It is what it is. Rebecca used her brains, and that is very awesome. She needs to use but when she can. Unfortunately, her reverses are now used up. So again, there won't be a second chance for a life-threatening situation. And given the fact that they have yet to escape the life-threatening situation, either Cat Leaper is gonna be forced to adapt to or evolve, or we have just seen the first clue that the despairing future will happen. But you give me your future, sorry, words if you have any.